Yo everybody, welcome back to another video. Hope you guys are having an absolutely fantastic kick butt day today so far. So guys, is it just me or does it feel like update season is like right around the corner? I feel like a lot of people in the Brawl Stars community are talking about potential update sneak peeks, what the community is talking about, like the Brawl Stars dev team, as well as update wish lists, what people want to see when it comes to balance changes, as well as new brawlers, new game mode, and just new content in general. Guys, I love update season. There's literally nothing better when you're anticipating something new coming to the game to kind of spice up the meta or spice up the game in general. But because of that, I want to go over some of my favorite new brawler concepts thought by the Brawl Stars community that hopefully the Brawl Stars dev team keeps an eye on. As you guys know, the Brawl Stars dev team is really influenced by what the community has to say. Concepts put into Gene as well as Carl were brawler concepts thought by you guys. So make sure when you're making a brawler concept, keep that in the back of your mind that the Brawl Stars dev team might eventually implement that in the game, which is awesome. I would love that. So guys, with that being said, let's hop straight away into them. Here we go. Alright you guys, so starting things off incredibly strong, this is one of my favorite brawler concepts that we're going to be covering in today's video. So, as you can see, his name is Lupo, thought up by the talented Fluropi. And guys, Fluropi has been on my channel several times in the past, so guys, make sure to check out the link in the description down below to every single one of the new brawler concepts. They deserve our support. A lot of this stuff takes a really long time to think up as well as design, so most definitely they deserve it. So guys, whenever someone asks me what type of new brawler I want to see introduced inside the game, or what type of characteristics I want to see influence the gameplay inside of Brawl Stars, I always respond supportive characteristics, or on the opposite end, a brawler that can inhibit another brawler's characteristics. For example, like a Shelly with her slow, or Frank with his super. I love those elements inside of Brawl Stars. I feel like it opens up a huge dynamic in the game that kind of makes the gameplay a little bit more intricate. Now, what I mean by supportive characteristics are things like the healing elements in the game right now from Poco and Pam, where you're helping out your teammates in a different way other than just killing other opponents on the enemy team or keeping them under control. I would love to see elements like that other than just health. I would love to see maybe a brawler that can influence the attack damage of a brawler on your team. Maybe like a bull is charging in, you can give them a damage increase, or maybe a brawler that can influence the movement speed of your teammates, where someone is going in for some gems, you throw down a little spot on the map where they get increased movement speed so they can grab them and get away. I feel like it would introduce a lot of really awesome gameplay mechanics inside of Brawl Stars. So what we're seeing from Lupo is the ability to affect the characteristics of the enemy team, which I absolutely love. So as you can see from his attack, it's called Lightning Strike. Freaking awesome. Lupo summons a bolt of lightning at medium range that applies a stun effect on the target, which really reminds me of like the Electro Dragon and the Electro Wizard and Zap and Lightning in Clash Royale, where you get that stun effect, which I feel like would help out a lot and bring in a different element that we haven't seen inside of Brawl Stars thus yet, which I am all on board for. I want to see some crazy gameplay mechanics being introduced inside the game, kind of like Gene. Something really weird, but really cool to the meta. So his super is Wolf Mount. Lupo summons a wolf mount that improves his health and speed and replaces his lightning strike with a strong melee attack for a limited duration. That sounds freaking awesome. So Lupo's super enhances his own stats, which I absolutely love. It reminds me a lot of my favorite brawler, Mortis, where they have really selfish supers, where they directly only affect themselves, but indirectly affect their teammates by being able to pick up kills with it. I love that. I love Lupo so far. Now take a look at his star power. So his lightning strike will cause a chain reaction affecting brawlers near the target, which makes sense when you have like a lightning type brawler when you see inside of Brawl Stars, where one shot will hit, but it will chain to another enemy. I like that concept. Hopefully it doesn't deal like the same damage. I feel like that would be really broken, and hopefully it only directly influences like one other brawler. I think that would make sense. But taking a look at his stats, it doesn't seem overpowered at all. He has 2,400 health, I'm assuming at level 1, and then his attack does 660 damage, so not a whole lot, but he's relying a lot on his characteristics of stunning, helping out his teammates. And then his super, 800 damage Wolf Lunge. So cool. Lupo, I want in the game, and he kind of fits that Nita family. Looks a lot like Nita, and you guys know how much I love family-esques inside of Brawl Stars, where we're seeing like Pam, Colt, and Jesse, stuff like that. I really like that. So guys, Lupo, A+. Introduce this brawler to the game, please. So the next brawler concept that we're going to be covering is by Just the Landom Kid, and her name is Letty. And guys, I gotta be honest with you, I love the artwork. You guys know I'm into anime and stuff like that, so it's really preaching to me. But take a look at her characteristics. Again, she has that kind of esque of being able to affect the enemy team's characteristics, which I absolutely love. So her attack is Snow Blizzard. So Letty blows Snow Blizzard wildly. Freezing Snow Blizzard is piercing through the enemy. So I don't see the characteristic in her attack, which I think is good, being able to slow enemies with just your your basic attack, I feel like is a little bit too much. You need your super to do that, or else you'd just be going up against brawlers that are just constantly slowed, which I feel like is really, really overpowered. Next, taking a look at her super. So the World of Absolute Zero. Letty reduces the ambient temperature to absolute zero. Once the enemy enters the range, their body freezes and slows them down. Super, super cool. Again, with that slowing element, I love that. So yeah, guys, the super is what got me for this brawler. I absolutely love it. So as you can see, it's active for 6 seconds and damages 320 damage per second, which seems pretty OP. When you add it up, it does a lot of damage. However, the brawlers have to stay within that radius the entire time. So they probably only take like half of it in certain situations and stuff like that. So now her star power, Ultimate Freeze. Letty freezes the water for 3 seconds so Letty and her teammates can walk over it. Super, super unique, and the star power is probably another thing that got me for this brawler. I really love unique star powers in the game, things that will directly affect their character or kind of speak to her character. What I don't necessarily love about a star power is when it feels somewhat generic, when you can place it on any brawler in the game. For example, a brawler like that is Gene with his star power, where it heals his brawlers in the radius, where you could literally give that to any brawler in the game, where this star power is incredibly unique and it fits with their character. Super, super cool, well thought out. Love Letty. The next brawler concept is our boy Daxter, and it was a huge collaborative effort by 4 different people: Develop Art, H&M, Getty Core, our beloved Getty Core, and Caesar Brawl Stars, or Kazar Brawl Stars. So guys, I really, really like this brawler. It has a lot of those elements that we were preaching about in the beginning of the video, where he can influence his teammates as well as influence the enemy teammates, their characteristics. So moving on to his attack, as you can see, Biohazard. Daxter shoots a venomous projectile that leaves behind a trail of acid, poisoning enemies and healing allies. So it has 2 different effects. It can poison the enemies that you're playing up against, as well as heal your allies when they're in the acid, which I don't know if that really makes sense, but it's still really, really cool. Next, moving on to Gunk Shot, his super. A giant ball of toxic scientific waste is launched over the walls in an effort to soil his opponent's health and vigor. So Daxter's super, I'm digging a lot. It has 2 different things to it, 2 elements that are really intriguing to me. Number 1 is that it affects negatively the other enemy team, so their health and vigor. So I'm assuming it does damage, and maybe the vigor part is movement speed or something like that, or maybe it's just wordplay to make it sound really cool. But the other thing that we're seeing is that his super has the lobbing capability that we see from only 2 different brawlers in the game, which you may argue that other brawlers have, like the spawnables in the game where they can throw it on specific parts of the map, but it doesn't necessarily deal damage over there. Or maybe, I guess it does when you throw your turret, but what we're seeing from him is in sticky situations you can use stuff for over walls. So definitely digging Daxter's super. I really, really like it a lot. So next, moving on to the star power, it's called Soaked. Enemies hit by Daxter's super will leave behind a trail of acid for a few seconds. So again, very, very unique to him. I love this star power, and it has different elements that can be used in it. So the acid that they leave behind is just going to extend the acid pool. So if the brawlers are in there, they're going to take some damage, as well as if the brawlers on your team are within the acid, they'll be healing themselves up. Fantastic job by these very talented people in the Brawl Stars community. Absolutely love it. So moving on to the final brawler concept that we're going to be covering in today's video, and is quite honestly my favorite one that we're going to be covering. And once again, it is by Floropy. I told you he'd be back. But guys, Rosa has all those things that I want to see out of a new brawler, those support characteristics that we don't necessarily have in the game. And you know what? Kairos Time couldn't have said it better at the top there. It has his stamp of approval. So guys, put it in the game. If Kairos likes it, I'm sure everyone else will. So Rosa's attack is that Rose sings a tune that does more damage at maximum range. So we're seeing elements like Leon and Piper implemented into this brawler, which I absolutely love. We only have 2 brawlers that do that, and I feel like when you make a brawler like Poco, kind of looks like Poco and has the kind of same attack pattern as Poco, you have to have something that differs from them, which it does. She does more damage at maximum range. Super, super cool. I'm really on board with the attack. Next, moving on to the super. Rosa performs a dance for a limited time that decreases her walking speed, but increases her basic attack damage and buffs the damage of allies within range by 25%. It also buffs damage of enemy brawlers within range negative 25%. This is what I desperately want to see from a new brawler coming into Brawl Stars, a supportive characteristic that isn't just healing. Rosa says attack damage buff across the board for your teammates and her, but with a negative being that her movement speed is decreased. But that is a good price to pay by helping out your teammates. Love this brawler so far. Moving on to Rosa's star power, and it reads, Kanta will buff an ally's next basic attack. And Kanta is her basic attack, so it's much like Poco's. Whenever he shoots his shots, he heals up his opponents by 500 HP, whoever's hit by it. So once again, they're kind of drawing off that characteristic, but since it's kind of in the Poco family, it makes sense, and it's still different. The whole concept behind Rosa is buffing the attack damage of the brawlers on your team, which, like I said before, is what I want desperately inside of Brawl Stars, a support characteristic like that isn't healing. Super, super cool. By far my favorite one that we're covering in today's video. Fantastic concept for OP. Love this one so much. So guys, going through all the brawler concepts in today's video, let me know which one you enjoyed the most or what you want to see most from a new brawler. Of course, I want the supportive stuff in the game, but that's just my opinion. What do you want to see inside of Brawl Stars? I would really like to hear your opinion. So guys, if you did enjoy the video, make sure to slap a like on it. Also, make sure, once again, to go check out the comments down below. Support the creators in the Brawl Stars community that don't necessarily get a whole lot of recognition out of it. I'm assuming these types of things take a really long time to develop. I know I would take forever on a thing like this. So I'm sure they would really appreciate some love with maybe an upvote, maybe a few extra karma pushed their way over on Reddit would be helpful towards them. So guys, with that being said, make sure to keep having fun with Brawl Stars, and we will see you in the next video. Peace out.